Hey y'all, welcome to ZLS number 16. We're doing cool stuff here today. We're going to try to build some custom forms here. This is inspired by my conversation during the stream yesterday with Lars. And also the stuff from the NGRX component store conversation I saw Alex and Brandon having. I saw it, but I couldn't hear it actually. I've yet to go back and watch that. But I do want to take sort of the same idea of building sort of a pagination component, but do it using just like vanilla Angular stuff, like the Angular Forms API, and see if we can do that. So I've done this before. We try to remember things because I think we can see some interesting stuff if we do this right. And stuff that I think is actually pretty easy. Well, not easy. Easy is maybe not the right word. We're going to see some stuff that I think is simpler than people may assume it is today, in terms of setting up a custom form, what all that entails, and how we can get that all set up. Let me, before I get started, let me open up some stuff over here. Close out some tabs. Make sure everything's looking fine in the stream. I think the green screen's looking a lot better today. Let's see how long that lasts. I've got to work on some lighting stuff still. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm slowly working my way up there. All right, let's see. Here we go. That's looking good. All right, so let's just go through what we did yesterday. Just a quick recap. Upgraded to NGRX 10. Got all the packages uploaded. All that good stuff. We are using NGRX let directive everywhere it makes sense. We're using the push pipe everywhere it makes sense. And we talked about state management and component store. So I think we're good there. Let me mess with the stream stuff here. I think my face is lagging. Let's see. Let me just adjust this real quick. Let's see if I figured this out enough. See this. I think the resolution's just way too high. Do it like that. Let me adjust. So, all out. Sorry, I don't know what your real name is. It's still kind of weird calling people by their screen names. But so NGRX let. If you've ever used this, it's like a trick, right? My camera's all walked up. I'll try to explain this and then I'll fix it. NGRX let is like this is a proper way of using this trick that a lot of people do for ngIf, the ngIf structural directive. If you ever want to like subscribe to an observable within your template, you can kind of do that with ngIf, where you do ngIf and then the observable name pipe async, and then you say as and then some variable name that you declare right there. And so it's like this weird trick that works, and it works really good for getting, like, it can actually help you subscribe less inside of your template, like use less of the async pipes. You can kind of do it at some top level and then just have it there. But the downside is, because you're using ngIf, if that observable is ever emitting something falsy, it's just going to like hide the whole element from the DOM, which is weird. And like you can make a workaround around it so that like you just map that observable to a new object that has a property that could be falsy, and then the object's not falsy anymore, so you can still like kind of do it that way. But it's kind of hacky to do that and very misleading to do it that way. So NGRX let is just a way of doing that, where you just declare the variable and then So you don't even use the async pipe. You just say ngrx let equals. Here, let's. I think we can actually just look at what we did yesterday. Where did we use this? Somewhere in content post. Is there like our list component? I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, this is async pipe. Let's look at some of the other ones. It would be in our friendship stuff. If we go to front end, friends, and then pretty much any one of these, I think we can see it. Yeah, there you can see the ngrx let. So before this looked like something like this. ngIf is friends pipe async as friends. And it's the same thing now, it's just looks like that. So that's all it is. Let me see if I can fix my camera here because it's bothering me. Let's see. Just want to adjust the filters on it. Let's just remove that. There we go. Y'all can see my green screen. It's okay. Oh, dude. James, that's you? Dude, awesome. It's so cool that you made it to the stream. Y'all, James is our old friend. We used to work together at my previous company. So really cool to have you on, man. It's awesome. Let me get this. Let's see. I'm gonna try for a little bit to get this green screen working. If it don't work, it don't work. Let me put this down a little bit more too. Nope, too far, too far. That's good enough. Let's see. This is gonna be fuzzy. I don't know, I still gotta figure this crap out. Here, let's transition that over. That's a little bit better. Let's make me a little smaller. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Cool. So that's ngrx let. The other big thing you can get that you get out the new components package from ngrx 10 is the push pipe, which is just a more efficient version of async, really. And you can't get like the really big benefits of this unless you go into, you have to buy into Ivy and you have to buy into Zoneless. But when you do that, you can make it so like you don't, a subscription higher up the tree or lower down on the tree won't cause like the ripple change detection up the tree, which is cool. So, but yeah, that's that. Let's look at, let's see, before I get lost, let's go back to our markdown file, see what we have to do today. All right, so we're just going to start by creating a content post. Right now, if we look at our content post list, it's a pretty boring component. we're just taking our whole list and using, well, this is like the async pipe, but we're using the push pipe now. We're just piping it to JSON. That's our whole UI right now. It's not great, but we're working on it. Let's go ahead. We're just going to do a new component here. So I'm using the NX console stuff. So it's a VS Code plugin here. It's going to go to component, and we're going to do, let's call this content post. And this is going to go in front end content posts. Let's make this SCSS. And we won't export it for now because I think we just want to export the list. This component will only exist in the contents of this list for now. Let's do it that way. Cool. So let's go ahead and run it. Check to see, make sure all that stuff got spit out. Best UI ever. We're gonna ruin it now though. by actually creating components for this stuff. It's all right. We'll just do it. We'll just do JSON pipes inside of here. All right, let's jump into this. So content post here, we're going to want to do. We'll have a input. This is just going to be the content post. I'm going to say it is a content post. I think. Let's see. Yeah, it looks about right. So we're importing this from the content post utils. It's kind of like this thing at the bottom of our depth graph. Just has interfaces and maybe some pure functions in there. But it just describes our models. So there's our content post. Trying to think for now. Trying to think if we want to do like on changes here. For now, I'm just going to just say we'll just like the input is just static. So we'll just leave it like this. This is going to be a dumb component. Pretty much just needs the input, and then over here we'll do kind of what we were doing before. But now we can at least have our own list for each one of these. I'm actually going to do the pre on the same line so it doesn't format weird. But we're going to say content post. We're just going to pipe that to JSON here. So that's our beautiful content post. And now we'll touch our content list, content post list component up here. So instead of this, we are going to do something like, call it parsicle content post. I think that's the name of our selector. Copy, paste. And then in here, we'll just use the ng4 to loop through things in our list. Let's just get rid of that stuff. Get rid of the pre entirely. Boom. And we can just say let post of. I think we can just do it like this. We got my equal sign. Cool. And then inside of here, we can just say content post is equal to post. And there we go. Let's see. Don't have my end-to-end test running. I'm going to try to run our end-to-end test. I don't think this will break it, but let's make sure. So I'm going to do nx e to e r. Let's just run it from the plugin. I'll run e to e up here. Where's watch? Watch. Boom. Hit run. I'm going to grab this into the clipboard just in case. Might take a little bit. I seem to have some problems with the building stuff while I'm streaming. I'm just taking up too much resources with the whatever the encoding it's doing. I don't understand that stuff well enough, but I think I understand. I may want to move to like a 2-machine cast at some point down the road, just because it'll help with some of this stuff. All right, so we ran the command. Our Angular app started. Our API started. Cypress is starting up right now. Cypress might take a little bit here, but it'll come. Maybe it'll come. I came over here. Tried to catch it so it would come on this other screen. Let's try, if we hit run all specs, I think our end-to-end tests, we made them generic enough that this will still pass, but we'll find out. Let's full screen this real quick. There you go. Yeah, it's really struggling today. Maybe it's my green screen. I don't know. There we go. Man, that's slow. You can see it typing it out. Alright, we got some greens, so I'm assuming all of our tests are going to work. If the first one worked, the rest of them should work. So all out. I'll call you by all out because I don't want to confuse anyone else who might be listening. But so we have some tests set up, and we've been working through stories. So we would just kind of when we find something, we just write a test for it. We do have an error here. That's kind of cool. We can maybe look at fixing this. But so we would write out end-to-end tests, and we just kind of work through it, and then we'd work until we got greens. It's kind of cool. I hope we can do this for the form too, but right now we're having an issue with this, so let's just take a look at this. This should also be visible in the element pre, but never did. Yeah. So the way I wrote this, I'm pretty sure it's grabbing the first pre, which before there was just the one. Now there are multiple. So it found this pre and it expected something to be in there, but it's not. Let me see if I can change that. I should just be able to change that pre to the list. I think this will run again. Let's see if we can do that real quick. So we're going to go to our app spec. I need to clean in all of the Cypress spec code up to at some point. Move to some commands. I think that'll help with this. Man, is my keyboard lagging? There we go. Alright. So we want to say, I think we were getting it around here. I think instead of this pre, we can just grab this for all of our pre's I'm looking at here at least and say R circle content post list, I want to say. Hit save. Let's see if this passes this time. Normally when I'm not streaming, this finishes in 10 seconds. I'm guessing it's going to be like 20 seconds now that I'm streaming. But it's still not that bad. So there we go. Oh, we passed them all. That's all we needed. All right. Let me check to see anywhere else. Let's run for pre's. I think these are all these pre's are just checking for stuff inside our list. I think. We try just replacing all of them. And what could go wrong, right? Let's try doing that. R circle. Okay, let's see me typing. Full content post list. Save it. Let's check it. Take a few seconds. Make sure this is all set up still. Cypress is just so cool. Alright, we got it. All the greens. Alright. Now we're clear to work on some of our other stuff finally. Okay, so let me check back with the markdown. Make sure I don't get stray too far from that. I think we can mark this off as done. So the idea here, we have our list now. So we have some number of elements inside of our list. If we look at the content post component. Yeah, so you can see we have our list. We're going through them, and there's a number of content posts there equal to that list. I am wanting the pagination idea was to kind of tackle this this idea that our posts are eventually going to get to the point where we're not going to be able to show everything on the screen. We're going to want to do a lot more than just this pagination component or form, because we want to make it so that like we probably don't, we're going to want to change our APIs up a good bit with this too, to make sure that we're only getting probably the content posts we want to show on the screen, because otherwise we'll just be grabbing like everything, and just deciding on the client side which ones to show, and that's kind of a waste. I actually don't think it's that bad, but it's kind of a waste. We could do it better. I'd actually love All Out if you're interested. I would love to get this to the point where it's just using WebSockets all over the place. Like maybe even doing NGRX over a socket. I don't know. That seems like it might be getting too stateful on the back end side, but take a look. We won't get to that today though. So I do want to make sure though, at the very least, I'm only showing a certain number of posts here so that like the user doesn't get overwhelmed. Maybe somewhere down the line we'll go to like virtual scroll or something like that. But we have this. Let's work on the next part of our markdown file for today. Where'd it go? And this was creating a pagination form component. So let's start by making a new lib for our form components. I imagine this. Let's take a look at the depth graph real quick. npx nx depth graph. I always forget if there's a hyphen or not. Did this work? Yes, it did. Let's throw this over here. And let's target. What do we target? Let's just target R circle. Let's target the R circle web client ETE because this will kind of show both sides of things. Oop. Scroll. There you go. All right. Let's get a little bigger. I think that's good enough. All right, so we have our web client EDE. It's kind of sitting at the top of this. It has an implicit dependency on the API we wrote and on the web client we wrote. Web client's got some modules here. It's got our content post module, our friends module. It's got some NGRX utils over here. So this is where I'm storing all of my actions, all of my selectors. Content post has its own reducer and effects. Front end friends has its own reducer and effects. Auth has its own reducer and effects. And auth is actually modular. So we did another episode in the past where we reused this auth module in our to-dos app. So we could show, okay, you could still log in and do everything that you can in the other app. So it's nice to have this little auth module here. And then we have our content post utils. This is kind of chilling at the bottom. API depends on that as well. Auth utils, everything kind of depends on that. So that's just like our interfaces for our auth stuff and our users and whatnot. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a form lib in here. And this is just going to be somewhere towards the bottom of this tree. We know for now our content posts is going to depend on it because we're going to use it inside of our list. It wouldn't be a thing, though, for front-end friends to depend on it, too, if at some point we need some pagination for them as well. So we'll do that. And what I actually want to do is I want to make a separate app, just using Angular, just using NX. We could also do this with Storybook. And I do want to use that. NX has some cool Storybook integrations. I do want to use those when I get into actually testing out some components and the way they look. But for now, I'm just going to build out a sort of just a test bed. Just so, and the driving force for this is I just want to use Cypress. I just want to use Cypress to test out my forms because I think it's such a much better way of testing. So let's work on that. We're going to make our new lib. So we're going to generate. This is going to be a lib, and we're going to use the narwhal Angular. We're going to call this, let's just call it forms. And we'll stick it in front end, so it'll be like front end forms. Front end, like so. And I think that's pretty much all we want. We don't want any of this other stuff. put some tags in here, but I haven't been doing tags the whole time, so it would almost seem weird to do it now. We'll get into tags though. Eventually I want to start using tags as a way of keeping that dependency more solid. So, alright, we went out and made our new lib. Let's see. Where'd that go? In our libs, front end, content posts, forms. Here we go. So we can stick some, we're going to stick our paginator form in here. Before we do though, I'm just going to go out and create a new app. I'm just going to use Narwhal Angular app. We'll call this the forms test bed. And this is just use like so. No backend project. We are going to use Cypress. Oh, keep Ivy on. I need to learn Ivy a little bit better. There you go. Let's go ahead and run that. And no, not like to configure routing for this application. Boom. We've generated 51 files in this session. It's pretty solid. Okay. Before we get too far, well, I'm just going to leave it like this for now, I think. Eventually we'll want to add routing and stuff into our forms testbed, so we can have like one route per each form we do. But for now we're just going to start out with the one. So we'll just leave it like this for now. Let's go ahead and generate our component. So we're going to generate a component. Name of this is going to be Pagination. Yeah, I'll call it Pagination. And the name of the project is Front End Forms. Declaring ng module. I don't think we need that. I think it should be able to find that by itself. I feel like sometimes I said styles too many times. Entry component. We definitely want to export. That's pretty much all we want. Pretty much all we want. Okay. Let's run that, and we should see we have our little paginator guy in here. Pagination guy, rather. Cool. So pagination works. Let's get our forms testbed set up just really preliminary. We're going to have our app module. We're going to have it import the forms, the front end forms module. In forms module from Zach Livestream front end forms. Go. Let's add to our imports. I'm pretty sure we're going to need. We'll just import here the forms module, as well as our reactive forms module from. Who will this be from Angular Forms? Let's make sure we get those as well. Alrighty, and let's write an end-to-end test real quick, just to make sure. This would be an integration. So we're going to just visit there. Not going to do anything with this mess or this mess. We'll say should see our form. See our form. And we'll have this just do sci dot git, and we'll say, so I think the selector for this is Zach Live Stream / pagination. There we go. So we just want to make sure that it's there. I think we're going to have to kill our other Cypress. Where did that go? Goes in here. No. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. And let's try running. I think this will fail because I think I haven't actually put it inside of the app module. But let's make sure. We can at least start our run. You can see things are working. Smart watch. Where'd watch go? There it is. Let's run it. Hopefully this will be pretty quick because our app is really small. But the limitations of my machine while streaming will never cease to amaze me. There we go. Let's try to get Cypress over here. Where did Cypress go? There it is. Come over here. Let's bring it back in. So like I said, I think this will fail. Let's just make sure that's true, and then we can just add in our component to make it pass. Yep, so we just have the blank stuff in here. So we're going to fix that real quick just by going to our app spec here. Well, not our app spec, we actually want to just touch the actual app itself. So in our forms test bed, we're going to delete all this mess. We're just going to say Zach Live Stream go. Let's see if that fixes it. There we go. We got our green. So we got that far at least. Let's focus on building out some stuff for our form now. So let's jump into that file. There's almost too many in here to find it, but here we go. Pagination component. Let's jump in here. So I think before doing anything else, we'll export a function here. Function, I'm going to kind of give my logic for how many pagination options we should have in this function, I think. So I'm going to call this create pagination options. And this will take a current page, which is going to be a number, and it's going to take a total number of pages, which is going to be a number, and it should return to us a number array. I think this is going to be the most interesting, well, not the most interesting, this is going to be an interesting little piece of functionality we can just pull out of this, so that's why I'm making a function here. The idea is when we sort of show our pagination, let's maybe I can like pull up the bootstrap paginator and just look at that and sort of visualize this a little bit. So I imagine our paginator a lot like this. I probably want to break out previous and next. I don't like it where previous is all the way over here and next is all the way over here. I kind of like them being in their own button group to the side. And then we have our pagination options. So the question is, I think I always want to show, I think we want to make it so we always show like 5 buttons. If there's at least 5, we always want to show 5. And we want to have sort of ellipses on the 1. So we always want to show 1. It's just a matter of if it's consecutive like this, we just want it to be like that. But if this was 1 and then a dot 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 and then we went to like 20 and 21, we'd want to show an ellipsis there. So we'd always want to show the first page. We'd always want to show the last page and possibly an ellipsis in front of it. And then we'd want to show, I think always 5 in the middle is what I probably want to do. So let's look at what that would look like. Let's see. Go back here. So current page, total pages, number array. Number array is going to be like what the options are in there. So we'll say start off with temp, which is our number array. It's just going to be an empty array. So we're going to make like a negative pointer and a positive pointer. So the idea is we're going to kind of start from the center, which is going to be our current page. We're going to have a negative pointer and a positive pointer, and we're just going to like, the current page will be our first one, and then we'll say move the positive pointer up 1 and the negative pointer down 1 and say this will be our next 2, and then keep going like that, and we're going to keep doing that until we can fill up our array with 5 things. So obviously if we go over the total pages, we'll stop with the positive pointer. If we go below 1, we'll stop with the negative pointer. So let's look at that. So we'll say negative. We're going to get nowhere near finishing all of this today, I'm realizing, but that's okay. Let's see how far we can get. Current page. So we'll start it off at -1, positive pointer, current page +1, and we'll have a while loop, and we'll say while temp.length less than 5. Or we'll say, if both of our negative and positive pointers are past their bounds, we also want to stop then. So let's say negative pointer is greater than 0, or positive pointer is, wait, whoops, what did I do there? Okay. I just need to wait here because I think this needs to be an and, right? Yeah. So we want to do this while we want to continue. So length is less than 5, yeah. And negative pointer is greater than 0, and positive pointer, I think this has got to be less than or equal to total pages. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, I have some snippets over here where I've done this before. So I'm not just soft screwing this. I've done this before. I'm looking at some snippets on my other screen. So yeah, man. Hey Brandon. I'm trying the green screen. I had some technical difficulties earlier. I had to turn the resolution all the way down because my computer just can't handle doing all that green screenery, I think. But yeah, I'm liking it. I think I like it. There's still a lot of static there. If the static gets too much, let me know. I'll just turn off the green screen mess. But, all right, so we want to say here, so we're trying to build out our array of options here. So we'll say if our negative pointer is greater than 0, and we're going to push it onto the array, but we're not going to push. We're going to call on shift because we're going to want to stick it in at the front. So we'll call this negative pointer. And then we'll say if our positive pointer is less than or equal to our total pages, we'll do the same thing, but here we'll push positive pointer. There we go. And then we'll just negative pointer decrease, positive pointer increase. And we'll return our temp. So before we get any further, just because this is a core piece of the functionality, let's try to just test it. That's the reason why I exported this function. I just wanted to make sure I could test it. So we'll write in here. I actually don't want to do anything with any of this, so I'm just going to comment all this crap out for now. Probably won't use any of the just stuff for actually testing the component, just for this one function. So we'll say describe, what do we call that function? Create pagination options. Create pagination options. We'll put it in there so we can see it's a function. I like separate files, Brandon. I also like a lot of, well, I say that I like separate files, but I guess I'm sticking this function in here inside of this. Let me just do the, yeah, let me just do it inside of here. Let's make a new, let's undo all this. Well, yeah. Let's do this. Brandon, you're making me change my thinking, my way of thinking. We'll just stick it in the lib for now. New file, and we'll call this Pagination Options. Actually, no, I'm going to stick it inside of Pagination because it belongs in there. It would belong in the outside. Create Pagination Options. I'm just going to call it .function.ts. There we go. And let's take that function we wrote and let's just move it. So I stick to my morals of having separate files. There you go. And now we'll just make a new file for this. So we'll call it create pagination options.spec.ts. There we go. And now we'll describe it in here. Create pagination options. And go from there. Yeah, I always appreciate you coming by, Brandon. You're always great. Let me so I'm going to do this where I'm going to like build out a function to build some tests. So I'm going to call this const tests builder. I don't know if that's a proper word or what, but I'll just say like this. And I'll say this is going to need a starting, let's make it an object. TypeScript is taking over my life. Let's call this test builder params. And we're going to say we'll take a starting page. Here's the number. We'll take a total pages. It's going to be a number as well. And we're going to have an expected result. It's going to be a number array. Let's do like that. I'm not going to put the test name in because I always find that misleading when you like do them in a loop. But we'll say we'll just destructure them in here. Starting page, total pages, expected result. This is going to be a test builder. No, test builder params. What do I have wrong here? Definitely got something wrong. Does this need... I don't know. I don't know what I've got wrong yet. Maybe if I fix it out, it'll do it. So we'll say... Let me just put a... This would be a void. No. I think I'm missing, or have too many of something. There you go. There we go. That's what I wanted. I don't actually want this void. Just trying to use that to help me. All right. So test builder, we're going to say, so we're going to say constant result is equal to create pagination options. Gotta make sure I import that. No, I have replays of it. And from /, there we go. So this is going to be our starting page and our total pages. We're going to say expect result to equal expected result. So let's test out our stuff. So we're going to have test. First one, we'll just say, call it just one page. So we'll go like this, and this will just call our test builder with a starting page of 1, total pages of 1, and an expected result of 1. Let's see. I'm going to stay on brand and use the NX console here. And we'll just run our front end forms, if I could find it. Interesting that these aren't sorted. Maybe they're sorted by when I created them. Yeah, that would probably make sense. So I just want to do that, and I just want to watch. Just want to watch right now. It's going to try to test my component, and then it'll probably fail. Let's see what failed. Oh, the pagination failed. Did the other one pass? Okay, the component passed. So let's see what's wrong with this. Received an empty array. Expected that. I'm wondering if this is just because I am being silly with the way I set up this test. Let me see. If I go to, I think I set it up so that it was actually 0 based instead of 1 based. I don't know why I would have set it up so it was 1 based. Let's go to our form. So our starting page would actually be 0. So our current page is 0 based. We're just going to, I think we're just going to like increment that elsewhere. Expected results. I think this might be 0 as well. Let's try that, see if that passes. Alright, let's see. Okay, by the time I get to expected result, that'll actually be what the numbers the UI will actually say. Let's go with that assumption. We'll make some more tests to make sure that assumption's correct. So there we go, we're passing now. So let's just stamp out a couple more tests. Let's just say 3 pages. So starting page, we'll say, I don't know, let's make it 1. Total pages is 3. Expected results here, we expect to see 1, 2, and 3. See if that passes. Does not. Let's see. 3 pages failed. Expected 1, received 0. Clearly something's messed up here. That's fine. Let's see. Just 1 page. It's really misleading to have that thing in there. To equal expected. Expected result. Let's try looking at the actual implementation here. Let's try it. Let's just go through thinking there's 0 and 1 here. So my current page, have an empty array, have a negative pointer at 0. Oh, wait, am I never putting my current page in there? I don't think I am. Yes, I think I definitely need to start with this current page. And let me just check against my notes here so maybe we can spare some pain. Make sure everything else is here is looking right. There we go. So it's greater than 0 or is less than or equal to total pages. Should work. Alright, let's try that again. Let's try that. Let's go back to our spec. Not this one. This one, we're going to want to say starting page is 1. Our total pages is 1. Our expected results is 1. This one will say our starting page is, I don't know, let's say 2. Let's hit save. Okay. I think we're in the right spot here. So we are in 1-based numbering. I think. Let's try. So we'll just test another one for 5 pages. I think that's kind of trivial, but let's just make sure. Total pages is 5. We expect to see 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. There we go. And let's try copy. We'll say here, I don't know, let's say 1,000 pages. Current page 1. Starting page is 1, total pages 1,000. We'd expect to see here, we expect to see 1,000, 999, 998, oops, 997, that's 4, one more, 996. Oh wait, this is definitely not what I had in mind. Okay, let's try that. Starting page, there we go. Starting page should really be current page. Let me rename that quick, so that's misleading. Current page. This one. There you go. So that one's that. Let's copy this one. Current page is 1. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still. Test that. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh wait, wrong current page. Then let's just do something in the middle and make sure that's about what we expect it to be too. Current page 500. Alright, so we'll call this, should have 500, 501, and 502. And then we should have 498 and 499. I think this will pass. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. So we got this working, I think, to where we want it. Let's look at building out. Got about 5 minutes left. Let's see if we can build out the pagination component to implement the NGValueAccessor. And if we can get that working, maybe let's call that a day. I think this will take us more than 5 minutes anyways. So we'll say this will implement the ControlValueAccessor. I think I need to still need to import into here our forms module, not the front end one, the reactive forms module. These are both going to come in from module, reactive forms module from Angular forms. Got that. Now I should get this, yes. And we're going to have to add to our providers. Provide ng value accessor. There we go. We're going to use existing because we're going to use our existing class we're creating here. We're going to call multi-true so we can have potentially multiple of them. There we go. I'm going to have this be, so I don't care about on init, but I do care about on destroy. Because I'm going to be setting up some subscriptions in here, so I'm going to want to listen to on destroy to stop subscribing, or to take until, rather. And I'm going to have on changes as well. Because I'm going to have this be a form that returns the current page. We're going to have total pages be just an input. I think that'll work out best. So we get some errors here because we're not implementing everything yet. But let's start with our input. So we'll call this input. And this is going to be total pages, which is a number. And I'm just going to make this... I'll just leave it like this for now. But we're also going to have a private total pages, and I'm going to just make a replay subject here to hold that. So we're going to call replay subject of a number. It's always going to give the last one. There you go. So now that I have that, let me get rid of the constructor for just a second. I'm going to want to do ng on changes, where we'll have, let me see if I can pull up my snippets. Yeah, that's all I want to do. So I just want to say, here's my change. It's going to be a simple change. And we're going to say if change.total pages. Nope. Change dot current value. Let's see, what is this not liking? Am I missing something here? ng on changes, simple change, void, simple changes. There we go. Simple changes. Let's import that. There we go. Okay, so if that change has a total pages, so if something about that input changed, then we're going to want to just call next. This dot total pages dot next. We could do it where we're going to take it from that change, but I'm actually just going to take it from this dot total pages because it should be the same thing right here. So replay subject versus behavior subject. The main reason I don't want a behavior subject right now all out is because I don't know what the value is right here when I'm declaring it. I suppose I could just say this is a behavior subject here and not initialize it, but I'm using replay subject I think mainly for that reason. So I'm saying it's going to be a new replay subject, but it's not going to start out with a value. But if something does subscribe to it, we're going to want to replay that last one. So yeah, I think that makes sense. We'll see. We'll keep that in the back of our minds. If it makes more sense to be a behavior subject down the line, we'll make that change. So we'll do that. Pretty much what we did here is we did what I wish Angular had out of the box, which was make our lifecycle hooks into observables, kind of. So like this total pages right here is reactive now. and it's reactive based off this ng-on-changes lifecycle hook. This is the only place where we'll change that replace subject. Or the only place we'll call next on it, I think. It should be. I don't want, one of the biggest problems I think you can make is calling next on subjects in too many places. It kind of ruins the whole benefit of having things reactive and declarative and whatnot. Pagination components failing. I'm just going to stop this now. Let me close the tab. So we got that. What do we want to implement our onDestroy? Let's make just a private up here. So I'm just going to do the same exact thing as I did for our onChanges. I'm going to do it with the destroy onDestroy hook. And we'll just say this is a new, I'm just going to make this one a regular subject. I'm going to make it a subject of void because I don't even care what it emits, just that it does emit. And inside of ng-on-destroy here, we'll just call this .destroy.next. And now we can call take until just using this destroy. So this destroy is kind of just like the lifecycle hook at this point. So we got that. The next pieces we need are our pagination options, and then some other funny stuff. But let's start with our pagination options. So we'll say this is our pagination options, and this is going to be, let's use the finish notation. This is going to be an observable of a numbers array. And we are going to want to make this equal to a couple things. So if we look at our function we wrote, it's going to need the current page, and it's going to be the total pages. So we already have our total pages. We have an observable thing for that right here. We don't yet have our current page because we're going to want to do that inside of our form. Let's make our form here. We'll call this our current page form. We'll just say this is a form control for now because I don't want to initialize it quite yet because I don't want to have it start out in a bad state. We're going to want to let, if we think about this as being like the internal control, we're going to want to let the external control designate where it starts out as. So we'll have it start out as not initialized, and inside, let's actually go into that. Let's say our right value. It's going to take a v, let's just call it value, which is a number. So this is the thing, if this value is, when we think of whatever is going to consume this, when this creates a new form control and it sets a value for this form control, that's what this value is right here. So we're going to want to say, oops, yep, if we have this dot control, or this dot current page form rather, let's call this current page control actually. If we have one, this is simple. We just set it. Set value. Otherwise, we're going to want to do some things. So we're going to want to start by saying this dot current page control is a new form control with the value. And now we can set our pagination options. So let's think, I'm kind of divergent at this point from my notes here. So we're just kind of soft showing this, but we'll say pagination options is equal to, and we'll start with, let's start with just combine latest and see how this works. So we're going to use combine latest, and we're going to say this dot current page control dot value changes dot pipe. And we're going to want to pipe on a starts with, because we want pagination options as soon as we've created this. And the way this is going to work, value changes actually won't get called until the value actually changes. So it won't actually give us our initial starting value. So So we're going to pipe on a starts with. Starts with? Is it start with or starts with? Let's see. Port start. Let's start with from RxJS operators. There we go. Start with. Yeah. And this is, we're going to start with this dot control, current page control dot value. So this will be our first observable. Our second observable is going to be our replay subject for total pages. So we'll just say this dot total pages. I think that's all we need. And then we'll pipe from this. So we'll say current page, and our total pages destructured. And this is going to just, well, hang on, we're going to want to just map this. Forgot my map. I do that a lot. I think of map as like the default, so sometimes I just miss it. You don't want an extra paren in here. We're going to want to map this to our function we wrote, create pagination options, a little peer function with our current page and our total pages. No, not that. I did it wrong here too. There we go. Close the pipe. I think that's all we need for this one. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. We're also going to want to, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm looking at my snippets here. We're going to want to do something if the current page is all of a sudden greater than our total pages. It's going to kind of mess things up. We might want to put a subscription here. Let me add that as a note to do, let's just say subscribe to ensure that current value is always less than, there's always at least less than total pages, or at least equal to. Hopefully that note's coherent enough for future Zach. Why not call complete also? Brandon, what do you mean by that? Am I missing something? I'll wait for your answer to that. I'm sorry, I might have missed that. You might have said that a long time ago on the destroy. Oh, so I don't know. So you're talking about doing like this dot destroy dot complete. I don't think that's needed. I remember asking someone about this. I asked Nick Jameson about this because I was like, do we really need to complete there, or do we just need to call next? I'm pretty sure there's no leaks if we don't call complete. I don't know. We can leave complete in there. Let's leave complete in there for now. Let's be extra safe. I don't think that it's really doing anything because I think the way it'll work is destroy anything accessing this dot destroy will be referenced within the context of this component. So it'll be lost. Like the reference to it will be lost, so garbage control will come and eat it. I don't think that, so like the complete would be necessary if there's an active, if it was like an active subscription too, right? I don't think we're, I don't know. I don't think we'd be using it that way. But I don't know. I'll see if I can pull up my notes on that some other time. I don't think we need the complete though. Let's make a note this. do we need? Does take until call complete on the emitter? I don't know. Maybe I'm a little confused by the question. When you say the emitter, are you talking about like the subscriber? Not sure. Not sure, Brandon. Let's see. Do we need this? Question mark. Well, maybe we can find out the answer to this sometime on stream. That'll be good. Okay, so we've got that, and I think for the most part our stuff is set up. We're actually not using our destroy yet. Like we're not piping to it because there's nothing right now that we need to subscribe inside of here too. I think we will soon though. Let's do the next step of the ControlValueAccessor implementation, which is to register on change. So this will be some function we call with the value whenever our form updates. So for this, I'll just call this dot current page control dot value changes, and pipe on. I think we still need to start with our current value. I'm actually not sure if we'll need this one or not. Let me make a. Do we need this? Kind of test that out. We'll start out with that. We'll tap the function. Actually, no, let's not tap it. Let's actually just explicitly subscribe. Subscribe to the function. So the idea here is we're setting up a subscription for our value changes on our control. And we're going to start with the current value, and anytime it changes, we'll get some new emission out of here. We'll subscribe to that, and we'll send it through to this function that we're registering here. So here's where we'll do a take until this dot destroy, like so. And so this will just make it so that this subscription here will make sure it doesn't survive past the ng on destroy lifecycle hook. So yeah, that does that. We need a register on touched. I'm just going to leave it empty for now. We just needed to satisfy the interface really. We could do something where we actually kept track of it, but because this isn't like a single element control, it's not really, I don't think it'll be really that helpful. It could be helpful in some cases with like automating some of the stuff for our tab index for us, but I don't think we'll get much value out of that. We could do something with disabled here. So if we look at this ControlValueAccessor interface, I thought it would give me some more information. Interface. Let's click through and see. So we need a right value. You can kind of see what all this does. Register on change. It's going to register a callback function. So this is kind of how. So I was talking with Lars yesterday about this. My theory on forms and the big problem with them, and it's not. I don't think it's types. I think types is most visible. I think the real problem with forms is Angular reactive forms are predicated on isolated boxes of reactivity. And that reactivity needs to be able to extend farther so we can compose on that better. But yeah, the register on change. If you look at what we're doing, like inside of our component, we're just subscribing to our value changes just so we could call it, which is unfortunate. It would be really cool if rather than having an on change just with a callback function, we could just have this return unobservable. Because then we could say this is when you want to register on change, whenever this observable emits something. So I think that's like one of the biggest points about Angular forms I wanted to make at some point down the line. But anyways, we've got our stuff pretty much implemented. Let's look at this. Let's do something with disable real quick. So we can set our disabled state here. This is pretty much just to be able to call on our phone control disable. I think we definitely want to do that, but we're already 15 minutes over today, so I think I'm going to just call it a day at this. I think we made some good progress. We'll pick up tomorrow with actually filling out this template with some of our stuff. I think we'll probably need some more observables for a couple other things, like probably just an observable of a Boolean to say whether we need the ellipsis or not, and yeah, like whether we need a starting ellipsis and whether we need an ending ellipsis. But we'll get into that when we get into the template. But yeah, I'll close the book on this here. Got some interesting stuff to look up, see whether this complete's really necessary or not. That'll be fun. But yeah, thanks y'all for joining. Thanks all out. Thanks Brandon. Always great to have y'all on. And hopefully I'll catch you on another time. All this stuff's on YouTube, so feel free to check it out there too. And yeah, I'll catch you later. Peace y'all.